What role do business processes play in organizations? What is the invisible structure behind every successful business? I'm also going to share how a company was able to save tens of thousands of dollars by doing a very simple thing. If you ever feel like your team is busy, but nothing really gets done, watch this. By the end of this video, you will have a new appreciation for how clearly defined processes shape the culture of organizations, drive results, and reduce chaos. Processes are the backbone of an organization. So if you're asking yourself, are processes really important? Then I'm going to flip the script and ask you, what do you think? Do you think processes are important? Chances are that you have been running your company or organization for several years now. So look back and see what effects do processes have on your culture, on your way of managing, accountability, and achieving the results that you want. So when I ask other entrepreneurs why processes are so important, the answers that I usually get are: 1, they provide consistency. 2, they help in onboarding and training employees and creating a great culture. 3, they mitigate risk. 4, they increase efficiency, they increase profitability, etc. Those are the main reasons why entrepreneurs think that processes are important. So to answer the question that we started with, what role do processes play in an organization? They play a crucial role. Without processes, the business would not be able to scale and move forward and expand. Another key component of why processes are so important is the tribal knowledge or the knowledge that exists in an organization. An organization is composed of individuals that know how to do certain things. If that knowledge is not documented, then that knowledge will get lost when people leave, when processes change, when new technology is being introduced that might take over some of the processes that were actually successful, but without identifying them and without documenting them, you will not be able to go back and see what was working and what was successful in case the introduction of a new technology or a new process is not working. Without clear processes, businesses rely on memory and rely on guesswork. Does this work? Doesn't work? I don't know, let's try something else. Oh, now that worked, but what was it? And you can't really figure out what it was because nothing is documented or the process is not really well defined. Processes can also increase your bottom line, and they will if they are the correct processes. I'll give you an example. We were working with a company and we documented their accounts receivable process. They didn't have it documented. They had an agreement on how it should work, but without clear documentation, it wasn't followed every single time. Once we documented it and implemented it by rolling it out to the entire team, by making it known, by making sure that it's being followed, they were able to collect on outstanding invoices in a timely manner, which resulted in tens of thousands of dollars getting in that before they were owed, but they didn't think that we'll see them back. So here's an example of using processes, documenting processes, making sure they're implemented, and how they directly affect the bottom line. Another example is a company that we were working with. There were several errors that were happening regularly, and also there was a need for callbacks because of different errors or mistakes or things that were not done. Once we created a very precise checklist of what needs to happen, and the process was very well documented and known by rolling it out to the team again, implementing it, and the checklist was followed, those errors were reduced to 0. So you can just imagine that as a result of that, customer satisfaction went up, they start getting many more reviews, and the amount of money that they saved by not having to fix those errors and go back. So those are some examples of how important and what a vital role processes play in organizations. Now, very often I'm being asked, Well, if I have processes documented, it seems like I'm going to lose my freedom, or I'm not going to be able to create, or I'm going to feel restricted. Well, the truth is, the more your processes are well defined, the more freedom you will have to create and to achieve the results that you really want. Processes are the backbone of a business, then the standard operating procedures are the playbook for every business. Watch the next video to understand how to create SOPs that are workable and are followed by everyone every single time. I'm Adi, a business and process consultant. Thank you for watching.